Hello and welcome to Studio
Set
Stage, a weekly podcast with us, Cynthia Mallard
and Marq Dean, where we take you from the studio to the set to the stage
in the world of entertainment.
I'm Cynthia Mallard.
And I'm Marq Dean.
And we are StudioSetStage. Welcome back to another week where we put it down in your face, raw, all for you for the StudioSetStage.
Yes, raw, all for you, I tell you.
Raw and for you. So, how you feeling, man? I heard you was like under the weather a little bit.
Yeah, I tell you, man, this change in the weather, I mean, for the past week or so, it has rained like crazy.
Especially here in Georgia.
Oh, man,
it has
in Georgia.
been raining every single day.
You know, I was just thinking about the other day when I was out in it, and I mean, it was windy and raining so bad. I was like, you know, California could really use some of this.
Okay, you know, it's like all kind of crazy things going on. I mean, tsunamis, earthquakes, wildfires, rain, snow.
Yes.
The north has like a whole bunch of snow, expecting like, I think, 6 feet or something like that?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, they said that there was almost, I think, 6 deaths involved in
already
in the snow.
Wow.
So
and this is just November.
Yeah, it's just November. But you know, with this kind of weather, you see the transition.
You do.
Now all the leaves are turning brown and all of that stuff.
I'm sorry, I hate it. I'm one of those people. I love the summertime. I love it when it's hot.
Right.
Like, give me 150-degree weather. That's right. I am an island baby.
Yeah, I know. You are definitely an island baby.
You know, it's cool. You know, I got girlfriends and you know, they love it when, like you said, when the weather turns crisp and cool, but it's the pits right now. So I'm waiting for the summer.
Yeah. Well, I'm just glad that the rain has subsided.
Yeah. Just a little bit.
And definitely, I mean, with people, man, it's the surgence of colds and upper respiratory infections and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So, you know, my throat is a little raspy just from the change of the weather. But other than that, I can't complain.
I think it makes you sound sexy.
Well, thank you.
Anyway,
you know, get my Barry White on.
So I know you are excited. Some new music news, right? Coming out.
Yes. As of this past month, one of the major platforms that's considered in this DIY platform, which has been some news for indies that's in the music industry, those indie artists. One of the major platforms, SoundCloud.
Oh, okay. Yeah, SoundCloud. You can get StudioSetStage on SoundCloud now, right?
Well,
we're working on that.
Well, that's one of the platforms, and so we're working on it. But we're on 5 right now.
Right.
We've just been added in on iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio, yeah. I used to work for the corporate company, so we're on their platform now. So, but we're working on SoundCloud. But go ahead.
Yeah, well, SoundCloud announced last month that it's expanding its Premiere feature, and for those artists that are familiar with SoundCloud and those out there, they just recently added a premium feature on their platform, which takes a focus on scores of musicians who use the service to record and promote their work.
Okay, what does that mean? I'm sorry. Okay.
Well, basically,
you gotta break it down for me.
Well, basically, this feature will allow artists to be directly monetized on the platform. So, say an independent artist, they might have a song, a single that they want to get exposure on that. So they will upload it on that platform, and it will be a way that they can monetize, you know, that particular song, because the platform actually benefits from that as well. And we hear some planes flying over, but that's okay.
Yeah, y'all bear with us. Y'all bear with us. Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
So this will allow, like you're saying, independent artists to really get paid.
Yes and no. It's debatable because therein lies the question, because SoundCloud has been around for some time now. And it's always been that platform where independent artists have uploaded material content on there. Yeah. However, prior to that, who was getting the lion's share of that benefiting from the actual platform? Because they utilize the content, but therein lies, well, we're attracting advertisement.
So who was getting all the money? SoundCloud?
Exactly. SoundCloud.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
But with this, they're actually expanding it, and the CEO, basically, which is the CEO Carrie Trainer, said that this feature will allow artists to be directly monetized on the platform, and it will rival any process at other streaming services like Spotify, those digital service providers,
right?
And so right now, therein lies, well, with artists that have been using this platform for some time now, saying, well, I've had multiple songs, I have a lot of pieces of content on there due to that, but I didn't receive this. So who received it? Well,
SoundCloud.
Definitely SoundCloud.
Okay, right. Okay.
And so I think with that, that has been a good thing because with getting feedback from those that utilize the service, that actually provides the content, they should be allowed.
They should get most of the money. Is what it was. Because SoundCloud, think about it, SoundCloud wouldn't exist, right? If you didn't have all these amazing artists uploading their music. I'm not a musician or whatever, but I can imagine you as a musician. You guys. Millions of people have made SoundCloud what it is today. Well,
definitely. Based on that, the users, people that subscribe, that use the service, definitely that fuels it. But the program, which is called SoundCloud Premiere, was created 4 years ago. Okay. But it's been limited to an invite only. Which really a lot of people in tech, they might provide this service and say, well, we're going to introduce this as a subscriber service and it's going to be a beta only. But for those that only have a certain amount, you have to have a certain amount of followers, you have to have a certain amount of listeners before you have access to really utilize that service with the monetization.
Getting that money back, right?
Pretty much.
Okay. So you can't be somebody who's just an amateur and you got one song or whatever, you got 2 followers or whatever.
Right. And just to clarify, and just to clarify, for Premiere, you must be an independent creator with a pro or pro unlimited account. So you have to subscribe to that service. Okay. And you must have at least 5,000 plays in the past month.
Wow.
From SoundCloud.
That doesn't sound fair at all.
Well, I think in terms of that, for those that are just starting out and thinking as far as the, concept of, well, this will allow me, you must have already had traction.
You got you.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And and for most of the countries that SoundCloud they're trying to monetize this in is the US, UK, Canada.
They don't want to be paying out money to people who are unproven or who don't even have the potential of being superstars.
Well,
sounds like.
I will say this. Being in this format, you're going to utilize, especially in this do-it-yourself, you want to utilize platforms that will give you the proper exposure. But also I will say this, as an indie, nobody's holding your hand to tell you where to start. And sometimes you might want to start here, but this might be also a revelation to say, well, look, if you're not at this level, you might need to backtrack because it's certain things that you might be putting before or putting out where you're not ready. And that, you have to deal with that.
So is there a backlash behind this indie monetization with SoundCloud? Is everybody on board with it basically?
I think the major debate is they're not the only game in town.
Gotcha.
But SoundCloud has also, from what I've heard, have gone into some partnerships with majors. So this kind of plays out to the majors. Some people think that, for indies, this is really, another revenue stream regarding SoundCloud that they have created. And in certain genres, you kind of see that disparity where, if you're in a particular genre, and some have deemed it where with hip hop or with R&B or with the major popular genres where people are uploading, they're saying, well, this is a sector that we could probably input this service and charge more. So you're getting charged more. That's the debate. But however, again, I say this, first of all, understand, starting at point one, you need to make sure that before you get to that, you have certain things in place.
Like what?
Well, I say, for instance, if you only have a couple of songs and you're starting out, you need to definitely work on building your stock, meaning building your catalog, building your content, getting your content up enough, and then doing what's tried and true. Performing. If you're an artist, engaging, building your own clientele, building your customer base, just like with anything else, building your fan base. And then from there, once you've got the content and you've gotten that kind of feedback, then you can start making it accessible to certain platforms like SoundCloud. Right. And then if it demands that, saying, well, hey, we want to find this out, there's ways you can do that, and then you can utilize the platform. But if you're trying to just start out and saying, well, hey, I expect I'm going to get 10,000 people, or I'm going to get 10,000 things based on that, you're fooling yourself. So just educate yourself on these things.
Educate yourself, right. And that's coming from you, like your catalog. I mean, how many songs you have in your catalog? I mean, it's probably like a million, but like give us a rough number that you may have like right now.
I know. Marq Dean. When I affiliated with CSAC about 2 years ago, I stated I have about maybe 1,000 songs in my catalog.
That's a lot.
And
I didn't know you was like that.
Just writing.
You like that, huh?
Well,
you serious like that?
I've been doing it since I was 13.
So you heard that, y'all. 12, 13, look, that dog. If y'all ain't got 1,000 songs, y'all.
Yeah, and I'm not saying you have to have 1,000, but I'm just saying, I know. Understand the process. Like, with artists, making sure that, and then too, with SoundCloud, they're saying that they will not, if you don't have exclusive rights to your material, then you can't participate.
Get your business right.
Meaning get your business right. Understand copyrights, being affiliated with PRO, registering your works,
PRO,
and making sure.
That's performance rights organizations?
Performance rights organizations like ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, SOCAN if you're in Canada, and there are several others depending on if this goes global, worldwide. So due diligence, find that out, and get the basics of that and know the process.
And you can actually contact one of my attorney girlfriends who I am trying to convince right now to go into entertainment law, and then she can be influencing you and getting you to the bank with the bag. So, but anyway, in other news, former First Lady Michelle Obama, you hear about this, right?
Right.
On tour right now, book tour is for her book called Becoming. By Michelle Obama. I just want to say hats off to her. Kudos to her. She's been on GMA, Good Morning America with Robin Roberts. She's been on the trek with Oprah Winfrey, talking about her memoir that chronicles like her time growing up in Chicago. Also meeting President Obama. And then her time in the White House. Did you check her out on GMA? Like, she was so gorgeous. I was like, you know what? We really miss what that position really means as a first lady. Like, she was the epitome of what a first lady should be.
Yes, very eloquent. Always well spoken. Of course, you look at her background.
Yeah, of course. She wasn't just first lady. Like, she's an attorney.
Right.
Like, she's an attorney who worked at a firm.
Solid,
like, totally. Like, went to Ivy League graduate. Went to Princeton. Like, she heavy. She's super heavy.
And I did see the post that Oprah made about it for her book club, so to speak. And just with the comments that she made about it, I definitely, I'm looking forward to reading. I haven't read the book yet, but I'm definitely looking forward to reading it.
You know what struck me the most is in the memoir, she talked about how when she first met President Barack Obama, of course we still call him our president because he is our president. Donald Trump is
44.
not. That's right.
44.
Is not our president.
Right.
But she talked about how she was asked to mentor him, I think, at the firm that she was at. And she was like, no, I'm not going to date this guy. It's going to be strictly like a working relationship. And she said the thing that he told her, he was like, you're crazy. You should date me. I like you. You like me. Let's get it on. You know what I'm saying? So she said he won her over. Now, he probably didn't say let's get it on, but you know what I'm saying? He basically won her over.
I wish I had that music snippet from Marvin Gaye. I I've been really trying.
That's what we did. That's what we need right now. She also talks about in the memoir. She talks about her suffering a miscarriage, which no one really knew. They also did in vitro fertilization for Malaya and Sasha. Can you believe that? Yeah. I think she was like about 35, 36 years old.
Wow. So she really
somewhere in there
dives into really all of the details.
And something else I bet you didn't know, she talked about marriage counseling. Yeah. President Barack Obama and Michelle Obama have done marriage counseling. You know what I'm saying? She said it's okay to talk about the things that have hurt you. Right. The hardships that you've gone through. You know what I'm saying? It just makes you human. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and definitely get that book. It's called Becoming by Michelle Obama. Love you. So guys, have you all been watching the wildfires that are just wrecking havoc on California right now?
Yes, I mean, it's been devastating. The Camp Fire death toll as of this past week, it climbed to 63 people. And the number of missing has jumped up to almost 631 people.
Man, I was seeing where it said the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection, I think they're called Cal Fire.
Yes.
They actually said like more than 12,000 homes and buildings have like just burned to the ground in northern and southern California.
Yeah, they said the blaze scorched about maybe, as they said, around 141,000 acres and destroyed 11,862 structures. Now, the northern fire, as of Wednesday, this past Wednesday, they said 40% of it was contained. But the Paradise Fire has been, in history, is the worst. The worst fire in the history of California, destroying an entire town just within a matter of hours. And so they're saying that, they're still searching for victims. And because of the communication efforts, it's been, really displaced. A lot of people have been displaced and not able, but they say they've been able to go back to the logs of the 911 calls. Yeah.
I know that several celebrities lost their homes. We were just talking earlier, Gerard Butler, also Miley Cyrus, Robin Thicke also, which leads me to, and I know like, especially in tragedies and disasters like this, I was just thinking, how many black people, do you know any black celebrities that lost their like mansions because of the fire? Because I haven't heard anybody. Maybe I missed them out,
Well, there was some that was in the vicinity was in the vicinity. I think Will Smith's home was in the vicinity.
I remember watching his Instagram post
also,
about that.
Master P. He actually did some posts this past week where he was wearing masks, because of the air quality. Also, Dame Dash.
I saw a post about him. Also.
They had to flee out, and that's the thing. It's really affected, and not only just with homes, it's affected certain studios. Also, I heard the Bachelors, the mansion where the Bachelors is shot.
Lots of back lots.
Totally destroyed. Black lots on certain studios. So, again, it's affected, kind of in the entertainment industry, a lot of those things. But it hasn't been, it's been overshadowed because a lot of people have lost their homes, have been displaced. So again, hearts, everybody's in our thoughts and prayers. And we just want to continue to, keep them up. And like I said before, we were talking about the rain earlier. I wish some of that rain in Georgia could have gone over there.
Yeah, I know. I heard you. We were talking earlier, kind of off air, about you said that you had saw. Where Master P had said people had U-Hauls, trying to get up out of there.
Right.
But like, it's like if you're going through a disaster like that, like, do you go get a U-Haul? Like how? Like the first thing I'm thinking is, pick up my son. Where's the family? But I guess if you got some stuff, maybe because I ain't got no stuff that's worth like $50 million and stuff like that.
And if you've seen the news and been keeping up with it, I mean, some of the video and some of the news clips, it seems like it's out of a scene of a movie.
Right. It looks like Armageddon.
Yeah, I mean, it does. Apocalypse.
Right. It does.
Really.
So it's like, how do you go and get a U-Haul?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Master P, and he said it, and give him props to him.
Yeah.
And honestly, like they're saying, you can't take it with you.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, materials can be replaced, but family, loved ones can't. So, and at the rate this fire has, just wreaked havoc on people.
Exactly.
So, you got to understand the importance, what's important in the midst of that.
Well, I will tell you that I did see, I saw a story, I'm sure you all saw it too, where Pink's husband, basically him and a lot of his neighbors, I guess they're in like the Malibu area, possibly, or the Woolsey area. I can't remember exactly where their home was located, but they picked up some shotguns. Like all of the neighbors have shotguns. If you go Google it right now, I promise you I'm not lying, because you're looking at me like you're making up this story. But I told you, they've got the shotguns, and they have wrote a sign saying any looters, because during times of disaster, that's a lot of times when a lot of people come up. They choose to come up at this time. So
those things rises. You hear news about people looting and breaking into things.
So these Hollywood stars, they've got these guns. They've written the little signs around there, like their little $50 million ranches and things like that. Any looters, they're saying, will be shot on sight. You know what? I'm just gonna put it out there. I don't blame them. Right.
Safety is priority, and you're already dealing with something, natural disasters, and that's the last thing you need to think about.
Tensions are high.
People are trying to rebuild, and it should be that spirit. And even talking about that spirit, when you look at some of the comments that have been made by leaders, and our so-called leaders that's in a national level, in relation to the story, like with those tweets that President Trump made, in regarding where there should have been times where now condolences and thoughts and sympathy should have been put out there to raise the morale of the people that have suffered. Don't place blame. They're placing blame.
Trump, he did place the blame, but his press people came right behind him and then issued the the heartfelt, but you knew it didn't come from President Trump. It came from the speech writers.
No,
or whatever.
Number 45 is on this. He comes from the reality-based thing, and so Twitter seems to be his best friend.
Yeah.
And one of the comments actually caught the attention and of one of the major superstars within hip hop, and I got to give him props for that. Snoop Dogg, he actually clapped back at President Trump for placing blame rather than giving condolences.
What did he say?
He said, "quote, this man is just completely wrong." It's this past week.
That's what Snoop Dogg said.
Yes,
he didn't say anything worse.
This man, well, let me finish. Let me tell you. Okay. He was basically saying that. There's no reason, and I'm quoting him now, there's no reason for these massive, deadly, costly forest fires in California except for that forest management is so poor. That's what President Trump said.
Yeah.
Instead of coming out saying, well, look, we mourn the loss, you're in our condolences, and any support that you might need, we're here. He didn't say that. And
then Snoop Dogg came out and
and Snoop Dogg, he was on Big Boy's Neighborhood.
Okay.
Out in LA.
Yeah.
And he said, quote, this man is just completely wrong. His whole train of thought. He said, even when the fires happened, he blamed the forest management.
Yeah.
How are you not going to send a condolence out to the people who just died?
Yeah.
You're just going to go straight into blame? And then he said some other things. He wanted to slap the you-know-what out of him.
Slap the
exactly.
Out of,
and I have to agree wholeheartedly. It's times like this when you have an opportunity to pull and bring people together. Now, it's just in your nature being caustic and putting out those comments, because what you put out in the universe it kind of comes back.
Well, he's a divisive president. I mean, that word has been used so much, but he is. I mean, he is a divider. You know, he does not, versus President Barack Obama, he wanted to unify the world. You know what I'm saying? You've got President Trump who's, you know, I got mine, you get yours. You know what I'm saying? I'm on this side of the fence, you stay on that side of the fence. That's what kind of president President Trump is. You know, it's almost sometimes I wake up and I'm like, they're like President Trump. I'm like, he's no president. That's not how a president of a country, a free world country, operates and talks and conducts its citizens.
I will say that it's also a testament because there's nothing. I mean, I think everything happens for a reason. Hopefully, this has. I mean, like they say, you know, wake the sleeping lion, and hopefully, some of these things have made some people awake. In lieu of everything that's going on, and understand that power lies in connecting and being united. You know, there is no unity without being united. Yeah. So this is just another thing that's going on that hopefully, you know, through tragedy, and you hate it being tragic, you know, but hopefully this will bring people together and understand that, you know, when one person hurts, definitely is a cause and effect.
Right. We're all in this together. Right. So, you know, speaking of being in it all together, we want to send our prayers and condolences to Puff Daddy.
Yes.
It's kind of even hard to even get it out of my mouth, but if you haven't heard, you're hearing it here on StudioSetStage. Kim Porter, the model, the actress, the mother to 3 of Puffy's children. She was found dead yesterday morning. That was a Thursday morning.
Yes.
And as a publicist said, she was 47 years old.
Yes,
I
just
mean,
47.
very young, very beautiful. Like I said, very accomplished in her own right. A sister of us, a sister in the StudioSetStage world. Yes,
and my thoughts and prayers go out to the family. I know this is a very difficult time right now, and the entertainment world is shocked. I have certain colleagues that have posted their just shock and sadness behind this. But again, our thoughts and prayers with the family of Kim Porter, and may she rest in peace and rest in paradise.
That's right. Well, you know, she believes behind, like I said, 3 kids. But I think most people, if you look on social media, they're really expressing concern for those little girls, because I think it's Delilah is one of their names, and the other is Jessie James, and I think they're like 11, 12-year-old girls. So you can imagine this will be etched in their minds forever.
Yes, you know? Indeed.
Yeah.
And I know
there are times when they really need their mother to take them through that entering into with the teenage years and into their early adult life.
Right, and I'm sure that with her, you know, they definitely have a support base, and now as good a time as any to come and rally behind them and give them the love and the support that they need. And I know with Puff Daddy, I know that's is paramount with him, and he's always appeared to be, you know, where he definitely keeps family first. Yeah.
Well, you know, I know we were talking earlier because everybody was like, you know, what happened? You know, she's 47. There's no way that she can be gone. But they were saying there was like flu and pneumonia symptoms that she had been suffering for like weeks at a time. So.
Yes, indeed. And, you know, with changes in the weather and all of those things, and if you're traveling, you know, you need to be aware of these things. You know, top of this year, I was dealing with bronchitis and upper respiratory infection. So, you know, you got to be, you know, cognizant of those things, and where it might seem like, oh, I got a cold or a flu, you know, you really have to stay up on that.
Well, they were doing like an autopsy on her. I think a toxicology report has to come back.
Right.
And it had been rumored, I think TMZ had reported that she had traveled to Africa, possibly,
out the country.
And they were just trying to see if that she had contracted some type of disease that kept her ill. And I think they also that she had called a doctor. And she kept telling the doctor, you know, that she just wasn't feeling better, no matter what kind of medicines and things that they gave her. But you know, in that instance, if you feel like that and it has raged on, you're ill for weeks and weeks and weeks, you need to get and seek professional help. Like, go to the doctor, go to the hospital, and refuse to leave, because people are leaving this earth because of things like the flu and pneumonia.
Right, and those things are going around, and sometimes, you go in another country, you might be exposed to something, and so, you have to really be abreast and stay abreast of those things. Yeah. So, but again, my heart,
prayers go up
prayers
to you,
goes
the
out.
whole family.
Yes,
so
definitely.
Look, on a lighter note, want to say today is Friday, and it is the day that Widows, the feature film, comes out, starring my girl Viola Davis. Okay. So guys, make sure you go out and check out Widows. It's a heist thriller starring, like I said, Viola Davis, Michelle Rodriguez, and Cynthia Erivo from the Broadway hit.
A Color Purple?
A Color Purple.
Right.
A Color Purple. Okay, yeah. Brain fart right there. So, like I said, make sure you go out. I'll be going out to see the movie, and then maybe we'll talk about it next week on StudioSetStage.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I'm looking forward to it. And also next week, Thanksgiving. So, everybody's getting ready to eat good. Hope everybody's eating good, and definitely Thanksgiving is another way to give thanks for being blessed, and we have so much to be blessed for, and we thank you guys again for supporting us here at StudioSetStage. We appreciate the love, we appreciate the feedback, and trust me, there's a lot more to come.
There is. Don't forget, you can follow us, StudioSetStage, across all platforms.
Yes.
Of course, this podcast, we are on every platform. When I say iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, do I have to mention it? But look, just go online, you'll see us everywhere.
Yes, you will see us everywhere, so stay tuned. I am Marq Dean.
All right, and I'm Cynthia Mallard. This has been StudioSetStage. See you next time.